Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin on this fine Friday in Lagos, shall we say. You know, as I say, we're in the season, and we're getting all sorts of communication. And in particular, in this season, we're getting political communications. Now, we'll look at some aspects of the political communications that we're getting. As you know, yesterday, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was in Kaduna in his quest to, persuade delegates to look at him as the person worthy of getting their votes. It's going to be a delegates up there. And so there was an interesting, if you ask me, some sort of interesting political communication going on in there. By which I mean, it might have been perceived that it wasn't necessarily honky-dory between Asiwaju, if you want. This is entirely speculative. Asiwaju, as you want, and if you want, and the governor of Kaduna State. But what happened yesterday when Asiwaju visited him, it wasn't the first time in recent times. Just before then, you remember that EL-RUFAI, had expressed deep appreciation to Asiwaju for visiting Kaduna when there was a mishap. Now, yesterday, they virtually handed off all the delegates' votes over to Asiwaju, as you must have seen on our flagship news. Let's look at that picture again and then come back and look at the communications that are going on. That's just one aspect of the communication we're going to be looking at. There's another, but I'll tell you about that. Let's come back from watching this video.
This is the first time national leader of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, is visiting Kaduna after he cancelled his birthday colloquium in honor of the victims of Kaduna-Abuja train attack by bandits. His first stop was the government house to see Governor Nasir El-RUFAI before moving to the hall where the delegates were waiting to receive him. The aim is to seek the support of the delegates in clinching the APC ticket to fly the party's flag for the 2023 presidential election. The presidential aspirant commended Governor El-RUFAI for the transformation in infrastructure, education, enhancement of investment, and other developmental projects in the state. He promised to work with the state in the area of economic growth if he is elected the president of Nigeria.
I come to assure you, I am one of you. I identify with you, and I'm determined with you. If given the mandate of our party, that we will defeat all evils called banditry.
He demonstrated his confidence and optimism for victory at the polls.
Some may be running, I don't know where to. But me, I'm going to the villa. I am the best of all of them. In terms of experience, private sector experience, I have. Governance experience, you can see Lagos.
We thank you once again.
When it was Governor Nasir El-RUFAI's time to address, he asked the delegates if they were for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and the response was overwhelming.
Are you Asiwaju? Yes. Is anyone against Asiwaju? No. Is anyone against Asiwaju? No.
But the people here, sir, will ensure that they stand by their word. They are giving their word. It's not me now, it's the delegates of Kaduna State.
The governor thanked Asiwaju Tinubu for the care and invaluable gesture of cancelling his birthday colloquium in honor of victims of train attack in Kaduna.
This singular action has made your memory indelible in the minds of the people and government of Kaduna State.
This is the first time delegates will be publicly demonstrating their endorsement for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu since he started meeting with APC delegates ahead of the presidential primary. Ola Awakon, TVC News, Kaduna.
Okay, so there you have it. That's Asiwaju's, shall we say, visit to Kaduna yesterday. Now let me introduce my guest, Mr. Demola Adigoke. He's a communications expert. Good morning, as always. Thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning, Yori, and good morning, viewers at home.
Indeed. And Mr. Solomon Edo, he's a lawyer and public affairs analyst. Well, first time on our program, but we're delighted to have you.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. You're very, very much welcome. So, I'm interested mostly in the, we all saw this story, but just looking at the communication. You're the communications expert. We might all think we have ideas about, but I wonder what you make. Oh yeah, we heard it. If it were being transcribed, the words were transcribed, but there's so much more that's going on in there, psychologically speaking, would you say?
Yeah, you see, communication-wise, there are so many things you want to extract from what took place in Kaduna yesterday. One, you want to talk about the difference between perception and reality.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
You see, what you perceive or what the public perceive as, being the case may be different from what it actually is.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that, before now, there had been this feeling, by the general, by so many people that there is no love lost. So to put it that way, between EL-RUFAI and Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And when you look at it, what happened yesterday, you want to be wondering what is actually...
So you're almost to be saying, where did all of that come from? Looking at the gentleman today, that is yesterday.
But still talking about perception and reality, still talking about perception and reality, I'm dealing with it from that angle. In politics, and I know politicians themselves know, they know what to take to the bank. And, and they know what to take with a pinch of salt. You understand? I just hope that what we saw in Kaduna yesterday, was actually something that
you can go to the bank with, to use that expression.
To use that expression, that you can go to the bank with. Because, and like they say, even a day is such a long, time in politics. They have said this now. Are we sure? Although EL-RUFAI said, when Kaduna speaks,
Kaduna stands by its word.
I want to hope that when the chips are done, you understand, that will really be the case.
Okay.
But whatever it is, I think psychologically it will be a psychological, boost to the aspirant because this is supposed to be an enemy territory, so to speak.
Well, so to speak, and I'm not too sure how we arrived at that conclusion.
But now you understand that I'm being, given this, overwhelming, seemingly overwhelming.
It was a warm welcome, a very warm welcome. So even the body language of Governor EL-RUFAI showed a warmth, a friendliness, and all of that. But Solomon, your view on just looking at the communication, and as he's just said, well, this is politics, and in terms of going to the bank with anything, you got any thoughts?
Well, I would say that what I can make of the meeting yesterday, clearly there was apparent overwhelming support.
Okay.
In favor of Asiwaju. The governor has spoken. He has clearly given the impression that the people are behind him, the delegates are behind him.
Of course.
Well,
the governor's sort of, he's like...
He put it to the delegates anyway.
He put the question to the delegates.
And they spoke
and they voiced how...
clearly spoke their mind.
Yes.
At least
after which he added the commentary that, well, Kaduna has spoken. And when Kaduna speaks, it stays by its word.
Well, I want to believe that he's a man at the helm. He knows how the domestic politics of Kaduna State played. So having given his word to Asiwaju, I want to believe that he will stand by it. Although Asiwaju as a politician also knows what to do in terms of ensuring that, look, whatever was promised here will not turn out to be something that will not become reality at the end of the day. But I believe that he will stick to his word. That's my conviction.
Because there's also that whole aspect of you can take it to the bank. You know, so many people say, but I just remember Governor Fashola when he was Governor Fashola. You know, you can take it to the bank. It was an expression that he liked. You know, that kind of thing. He has to say he's sure. Whether it might be as simple as whether he's indeed confirming the appointment we made yesterday for him to be on his program. He said, no, you can take it to the bank. I'm going to be there. So I just remembered that when we started taking things to the bank. So there is that aspect to it. But as you say, politicians are wise. They are not easily surprised. The public might be when you see some sort of a move. But, you know, it was an interesting... I just took the whole package as a whole. You look at the body language of both people. You look at the warmth. You look at the delegates. And the interesting aspect of it, EL-RUFAI actually turning to the delegates and asking them, say, look, it's you, it's not me. I can't do anything here. It is you are the power guys now. Yes. And is anybody against Asiwaju? And you heard the resounding no. Is everybody for Asiwaju? And then the resounding yes.
It shows that, well, contrary to what many people might have thought before now, even if there was some friction in the past in their relationship, now I'll say that there's warmth between them. There's been, obviously, they've straightened out their differences.
Whatever those differences were.
And clearly, they are working together.
Now, that was one kind of a communication we're talking about. The other kind of communication is, I'm reminded of the governor of Central Bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. He also did a communication yesterday when he came out of his meeting, closed-door meeting with the president. And I don't know, maybe I'll stick my neck out and say he lost it a bit when, in response to the journalists confronting him, I think, you know, that now famous statement, you know, well, what were the exact words? But the long and short of it was that those who are worried or apprehensive can go and hug a transformer. He didn't bring the transformer into it, but it was just as bad when he said they can have heart attack.
They can have heart attack.
They can have heart attack. I'm having fun. Now, clearly, the governor of Central Bank, Emefiele, and aspirant, APC aspirant, who, by the way, hasn't resigned yet, we'll come to that shortly, does not wish any Nigerian to have a heart attack. He doesn't. But a politician, if that is what I can refer to him as, of such high caliber, was it a gaffe?
It was a gaffe. It was, I want to take it as a gaffe. But then, you see, as a Christian, my Bible tells me that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And that, you see, Nigerians, will have to start measuring, weighing the character, the character of people that are putting themselves forward for public office by even what they say, even when they were not prepared for it, even off cuff.
Yes,
you understand.
Speaking of the cuff, which can be very dangerous for non-professionals.
For non-professionals,
even the professional self, they often avail themselves of notes.
What you say off the cuff, matters so much, much more than what you say when the speech is prepared. The speech writers have done their due diligence, for you. So
there's much less to criticize in those kind of cases.
Yes, but this is an off the cuff, remark and
that spoke directly to the man himself.
And so that now
nobody can blame a speechwriter for that.
No, you can't blame the speechwriter for this. So that now tells us, that now gives us a glimpse into your own character. If the very people you want to rule, you do not mind if they can have heart attack. I think a presidential material, does not, need such.
Now, of course, the imagery is unfortunate. I mean, after all, there is another expression. It's as serious as a heart attack. So there's that aspect to that. So, but the fact that he spoke, even if in jest, the fact that he spoke that way is a problem, because you would expect, since he's declared an interest to run, that he would have a presidential bearing. And I can't imagine any president speaking like that. But what is it? What's your thought?
For me, that statement was quite unfortunate. He might not have meant it that way.
He didn't mean for people to have a heart attack, but
clearly,
I think he could equally have said, "Go and hug it. Let them go and hug a transformer," which is another localism.
It's clearly insensitive.
It was a bit dismissive of
And
people.
and insensitive too.
Yes,
I mean, because you are
insensitive
showing
and dismissive of people who were against his running.
You are showing indifference to the concerns and feelings of people. When you want to run for office of this nature, you must be careful about the words you use in public. I mean, even if you are so angry and so you are dismissive of your opponents or those who are against you, seemingly against you, when you come out to address people, you should choose your words very carefully and do not give the impression that, well, look, I don't care what your concerns are.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I have to do, and I do not care what you say or whatever feelings you may have about me.
Hey, what do I know about it? But maybe Mr. Emefiele not being a dyed-in-the-wool politician. He's a banker. He's been a technocrat. He's been a boardroom magnate. Maybe that it's different in those sectors. But any politician, I think, would know that you can't really say that. Even if they are goading you, even if you are being goaded left, right, and center, you've just got to keep your cool. And as I said, the man hasn't resigned yet. He hasn't followed the lead of Wajuba. He hasn't followed the lead of Wajuba, who the president praised for his boldness, or Onu, or Akpabio. In fact, he, along with Malami Ngige and Amechi, some are saying that Amechi has resigned. I saw somewhere that his Minister of State, Gbemi Saraki, might be stepping in, but we don't have any confirmation on that. Do you know if indeed the Honorable Amechi has pulled out yet? We haven't heard.
I do not have any information to that effect. I don't have any.
Yes. But so we can just say that, perhaps if he had properly resigned, we would have heard about it through all the mainstream media. Never mind all these blogs. No, you can't really go by that. But Malami hasn't resigned yet. Ngige, the last we heard from Dr. Ngige was that he was going to be consulting with the president and his people
before taking a decision,
before making up his mind which way to go. Either continue with his job or shunt it and go out there and begin his campaigns.
There is something in bet staking called edge betting.
Okay.
When you hedge your bet,
to hedge your bets.
When you want to hedge your bet, you are not sure of of this bet that you have staked, and then you are doing something on the opposite side. Like you say, maybe Team Hay will win. You understand? Now you are not very sure. So you now want to hedge your bet such that, you don't lose, both ways. And so you want to, do another stake, to counter what you have already done. So for me, these people that are yet to resign, they are not sure of, what will happen if they go. And maybe, they know that if they go, the assurance is not there that they will be allowed to come back. And so you want to be very sure of what the situation will be. Maybe some of them, we want to, these are presidential aspirants. Some of them, they are banking on this possibility of consensus, whether they will be picked as a consensus candidate. You understand? And if they are not going to be, because one, they do not have, they know that that political capital, you understand, for them to really win what they have to become the candidates of their party, they do not have. So maybe they are banking on someone choosing them as a consensus candidate, and they have not gotten every assurance for that. And that is why some of them are holding back from resigning.
Well, today is the day that they must make up their mind, because this is the deadline. This is the last day. Yes. By Monday, if there's any aspirant now, APC aspirant now, that hasn't resigned by Monday, I think Femi Adesina was saying on a different television program that they're on their own.
They will be on their own, and I don't even see the screening committee of their party, you know, giving them a green light to proceed with the
violation of the law.
Exactly. Okay, we'll come back to that. I'm sorry. Mr. Ade, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for holding on. Mr. Ade, okay, Chief Ade in the UK.
Hello?
Chief Ade, good morning. I can hear you. Hello, sir. He just said something.
Good morning, Mr. Dr. Yori. I can't hear anything at all.
But I can hear you.
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Can you see your television?
Okay.
I'm giving you the thumbs up. Yep, I can hear you.
It is very saddening. It's very saddening that when I listened to the central bank governor yesterday, he said there will be news, there is news and there will be news.
Yeah.
Before he said Nigeria should have heart attack. And just about 10 minutes ago, on my phone, I got breaking news from Sahara report that Nigeria central bank governor obtained secret court order from Delta State to enable him stay put in the office while contesting for president. Can you imagine this? This is a laughing stock. The investor in Nigeria now will be panicking. If a governor of central bank, so that's why he was saying yesterday that there will be news and there will be news. So truly there's news now. So if it's true, confirm with this breaking that he obtained the secret court order from Delta State that he can stay in the office while contesting.
Okay.
This is really a disgrace to my country.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
You know, I'm very.
Okay. Well, you can't hear us as you had said. You're the lawyer. You were saying he will be infringing on the law if indeed he were to try this whole matter about hedging your bets and so not complying with what the president clearly is running away from having any controversy with. That is section
84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act.
That's right. So that's your considered opinion.
There's even a circular which I have seen yesterday, signed by the head of the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, asking that it was copied to several offices and officers and directing that these people who have intentions should quit office not later than Monday. So, like you said, today is like the last day, but many people, like you said, are hedging their bets. Why? Because we are not certain as to what's going to be your lot if you choose to throw in the towel today. However, that particular provision, section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act, is a valid law, has not been set aside by any court. And since it's still a valid law, you are bound to comply.
That is why the president, I believe, is playing safe.
I think he's doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Doing the right thing. The law is there.
He can't afford to gamble with this in the interest of the integrity of the party itself.
It's going to affect everybody. It says that if anybody is going to be a delegate, a voting delegate, or an aspirant in a primary election, that is at a party's convention or congress, if that person, a political appointee, has not resigned the appointment and partakes in that process.
But the newspapers are reporting that Buhari didn't ask Emefiele to resign. That's what some newspapers are reporting. The Vanguard, for instance, is reporting that. Premium Times is reporting that. So
there is a Emefiele's position is.
Sorry for interrupting you. Ada is on the line from Jos. I'll come straight back to you. Good morning to you, Madam Ada.
Good morning, Mr. Yori and your guests there. Very interesting. Ada calling from Jos, Plateau State. Yes, I want to start with that of the EL-RUFAI issue. That's the Kaduna delegates giving them forging his words.
Okay.
Well, I'm not after whether they are giving the words or not. And how you were excited, Mr. Yori, how they when you ask the question and they all gave a resounding that if they don't want to I mean, if they don't want, you expect them to say that before the whole world? It's not possible. Shakespeare, I remember Shakespeare said that there's no art to find the mind construction in the face, but that's not my problem. My problem here is that let there be a level playing ground in APC, because from all what is happening, all the recent developments, all this, putting gun on one's neck in the name of consensus, we withdraw, whatever. But I know that somebody like Tinubu, they cannot do that to him and himself. If he says he's not interested in the consensus, they must now allow them all contest and test their popularity. Because I would feel sad if somebody who works in Union Bank will go to UBA and collect money, his salary. So you know what I mean. Then when it comes to MSLA, he can say whatever he likes. People can say whatever they like. But somebody who is a technocrat, a real technocrat, and men in suit, just like you, Mr. Yuri, most times you're in suit. You must have had enough dose of emotional intelligence and know how to address the public. It's because of the flagrant abuse of the rule of law. Anything happens in Nigeria, the Senate, the House of Assembly, they have not grip. We have only one arm of government, and the executive, they just told the bid of the executive. That is what is happening. So people do what they like in Nigeria. It's really unfortunate, And let him throw it in. He has thrown it in his heart. But let him remember that the masses are still there. So I don't know. I don't even know how far he will go. I'm not wishing him bad luck. But all the same, we cannot continue in this banana republic we are in. You see what is going to happen over time. A lot of COSOs and the rest of them, and the masses will kick against it. It's a morality, thrown to a question to the wind. How can you be presiding over that? Even this is my first time to hear that the central bank governor, if you know ever any, tell me. I've been googling, that he wants to go into elections and he will sit there. It's only here.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. Listen, let's not give up on this country. All I know is that let them have a fair playing ground. All this idea of saying that people biting the finger that fed them. I'm not Yoruba. I've not seen actually Tinubu live before. It's always on television. But then people should remember the hand that fed them to avoid the wrath of God. God bless you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ada, for calling in and registering her impression that, what she was doing was saying what you guys have also said, that, look, it is what it is. It is politics, and one has to be careful, but there's a sense in which, people know how to read political communication, especially the politicians themselves. And it was in that context that I was suggesting that maybe Mr. Emefiele is not yet as schooled as the rest of the field in terms of being a politician, because what else are you if you're going to run for the presidency, being a politician? But I interrupted you. Did you have any?
It's a bit of a newbie in the political process.
I think so.
I was just looking at Governor Emefiele's position. Look at the law, strictly speaking. He's not really a political appointee. In the strict sense of the word, he's not a political appointee. He's not a minister, not a commissioner, not a special advisor, not a special assistant, technocrat. He's a public officer in the strict sense of it, not a political appointee.
This is the kind of stuff lawyers will talk about in court. This is how lawyers will split those hairs for us.
But that is really what it is. That's really what it is. If you consider it closely, he's not a political appointee, he's not a minister. He doesn't hold his office at the pleasure of the president. He has his employment, his appointment as security of tenure. You cannot dismiss him from service. You cannot remove him from his office without following due process.
Okay, without following due process.
And that due process involves, there are certain guidelines.
Because
which
his office is embedded in the Constitution.
So you can't just...
Mr. Kesandu, thank you very much for calling in. Good morning.
Okay, I greet you.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Uncle Yuri, I'm calling you this morning from Lagos. Uncle Yuri, for the first time, I want you for the first time, genuinely and sincerely appreciate Mr. President. He has said that presidential rule, most of us have actually been taking him off for a very long time now. You see, without even Mr. President speaking, so that these people do not even have the moral conscience to actually say, I cannot be sitting in this sensitive position and still be vying for another position. You see what this thing stipulates? It clearly says that these people do not even have the interest of a job they want to go occupy Assad. Because ordinarily, for a minister in this kind of precarious situation we have found ourselves, you are supposed to be working tirelessly morning and night to find the way we can take ourselves out of this quagmire we have found ourselves vis-a-vis the economic situation of the country. But you know, you don't want. You want to still stay there and still be following the practice of the federation in consultation and campaign. What kind of human being? Let me first appreciate my own brother for my own personal constituency, Dr. Chukwemeka Nwajuba, for taking the bull by the horn to actually do the needful. It is a sign of responsibility. I am proud of him. Mr. President should ensure that each and every one of them, and we make sure we hold Section 8 and also Section 12 the national school for the good growth and development of this country. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you very much for calling in as well. What we'll do now, I think we're going to take a break. We'll be... okay, but I do need to hear from the microphone on the speaker in studio a bit louder, because we can't hear what is being said from home. Yeah, so they say we can continue for a little while. So what we're going to sort of devote the rest of the program to is to, something that he just said now. I imagine a lot of lawyers and ordinary members of the public are considering it very, very carefully, because it is, as I said, the papers are being careful to say that actually the president did not ask Emefiele to resign. And well, the lawyers just helped us to understand that when you look at it strictly, it's possible you might not see him, as people are seeing him. But does that now, does it scale the moral hurdle as well?
No. You see, for me, legal technicalities aside, I want to say that on moral principle, on moral ground, I think it is not fair, it is unfair for one candidate to enjoy undue advantage over other contestants in any contest. I think Ada from Jos talked about, providing a level playing ground. And part of providing a level playing ground is that all aspirants, all contestants will be on, the same terrain, on the same plane in the contest. And when you look at, that is why, you see, sometimes when we talk about the technicality of a law, we also look at the intendment of that law. You understand? As regards,
which ordinary people, we can just say the intention of that law.
Okay.
It's just with their quaint legalisms, lawyers will go and confuse us with intendment. But what was the intention of the law? Let's continue with that. Sorry, sir. Elder David has been waiting for a while. Good morning, Elder David. Is Elder David still with us? Good morning to you, sir. Elder David. I hope they haven't quenched the speaker. And
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Elder. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Why did you leave your television after calling?
Are you hearing me well, sir?
Very well, very well. Go ahead, please.
David from Azimasho, sir.
Okay, carry on, please.
Thank you, Yori. Thank you, the two gentlemen there.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm very grateful. I have said this a month back. Tinubu campaign did not. It's like a payback. The people in the north must appreciate what Tinubu has done. 2015. And I'm assuring you by the grace of God, they will not disappoint us. They will actually vote for Tinubu. Come 29 on the 31st, Tinubu will be picked as a presidential candidate of APC. Let anybody doubt me. I have said it almost a month ago. Because I have done so much. That is why they went to one of the states in the north. They say it's the time to pay back. They reciprocate what they have done in 2015. Without him, the change we have seen today in Nigeria could not have happened. We should be very, very grateful to God for what they have done. And victory is my victory, is your victory. It's for every Nigerian victory. This is not politics. I'm telling you the truth and nothing but the truth. As for those who are in government, who want to contest,
they are very lucky. This government is very progressive. If they have done in time of Obasanjo, like the central bank governor that be arrested for saboteur. Yes, I'm telling you, this is a fact. So
okay, Elder David. All right, Elder David. I want to thank you very much for calling in with your, impressions as well. Now, stay with us, please. We'll take that break. We'll be right back. We'll continue to take your calls. Welcome back. And Tony in the UK has called in already. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted some clarification from one of your guests in the studio. Solomon?
Yes.
I
Solomon Edo.
To clarify the difference between public servants and political appointments.
Yeah. Okay.
Emefiele is where he is now because the president wanted him to be there.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the question. Look at the way he put it, and a lot of people might see it like that as well. He's there at the pleasure of the president, yes, even though the president had to get.
He's not there. He's not there at the pleasure of the president.
Okay, but the president chose him to send his name to the National Assembly for confirmation.
He's not there at the pleasure of the president because he has security of tenure. The law protects his employment or his appointment as the governor of the central bank. If there's a process of appointing him, and while occupying that office, he's protected by law. You can't just remove him. You must
so maybe that explains the statement that the president did not ask Emefiele to resign. Maybe that sort of explains it a bit.
Well, if that's what he said,
if that is indeed the case,
if that, the president would definitely would have been given legal advice by his legal advisors. He has the attorney general and other lawyers who would have advised him.
The contesting attorney general, that same one. Okay,
yeah, sure. But the important is that what does the law say?
Okay, did he know that the law was going to intervene in his aspirations as well? Of course, you can't get into his mind and know. But now he's among those we're counting that haven't resigned yet.
The Attorney General is a political appointee. He's a minister. Just like every other political appointee. They owe their appointments at the pleasure of the president.
And he can ask them to leave at any time.
He can even ask them to leave. Okay, look, I want you guys to leave. Just leave. And then that's the end of it. But for the CBN governor, it's a different ball game entirely.
CBN governor, it's a different
the president cannot wake up and remove it.
I hope Tony is listening to this. And
I think we can juxtapose Emefiele's position or situation with, not exactly, but you will also discover that in the order that the president gave, the vice president was exempted. Why? Because he is an elected officer whose appointment or whose office is tenured by the Constitution. So, and if you look at Emefiele, just like he has said, his office is also, his own appointment is also tenured by the Constitution. And so you can't just remove him. There is a process. Okay. You understand? Just like you cannot remove the president or the vice president.
Okay, you can't remove the vice president for that very same reason.
For that very same reason. But then, we were talking about the morality, setting, legal technicality aside. The morality of holding on to an office and you gain an undue advantage over your co-contestants.
Does that apply to the vice president then, what you're saying right now? No, it doesn't. This whole matter it doesn't.
It doesn't. The law protects the vice president. The law also protects the
Emefiele. There is a reason why the CBN governor's own, the major concern I've heard so far is that the CBN plays a background role, but a significant role in the electoral process.
Yes.
In that they work hand in hand with INEC for the preservation of electoral materials and all that.
Sensitive materials.
So if the man...
Although we also heard from the information boss on INEC that, no, not in CBN headquarters, as people might think, that there are state offices of the CBN.
But then the
CBN governor is the man at the helm. CBN. Everybody reports to him.
Let me, I don't want to lose Sunny. Sunny has called in from Benin City. Good morning to you, Sunny.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
I would like to say that what you are discussing is very apt, and we need to learn from it because our leaders should lead by example. The younger ones are watching, and if they are not careful, they will not set a bad precedent to others that are coming. Whether it's morally, whether it's legally, if the law says that you are an appointee, and before you can go into political office, you need to resign from that office. I think the best thing to do is to first of all resign and go pursue your political ambition. If you don't do that, you are saying that even when you become a president or you become a vice president or you become a National Assembly member, you also will not obey the constitution or obey the law. You will not lead the way you like. So to show that you have regard for our rule and order as a Nigerian, first of all, when you become a president or become a National Assembly member, you also do the same thing. So it's important that they must live by example so that others will see them that they are serious, so that they will not make mockery. If you remember when the president made that decision or made that pronouncement, one man from the east was the first to resign, and everybody applauded him in the Benin City and in the state that the man did what was right. I think we should follow that so at the end of the day, it will show seriousness and show that when we get to the office, we will not take that for granted. I will not take it personal. We will govern according to the rule of law. If we can do that, Nigeria will applaud you and will become a better country. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in. I'm interested in shall we say, the strain that Solomon has sort of introduced. So I'm wondering why what is good for Oshibajo's goose is not good for Emefiele's gander.
No, Vice President Oshibanjo is an elected officer.
And so he's not part of the guidelines.
He's not a political appointee.
But we just also said that Emefiele is not a political appointee as well.
Yes. No. Okay. The issue with, like I said, the issue with the CBN governor, the major concern is that it is the office he holds or the organization he heads playing a particular role, a unique role in the electoral process. Therefore, he's remaining in office, for those who are concerned about it, he's remaining in office, and while being a member, a card-carrying member of APC, and a presidential aspirant at that, it gives some people a bit of concern in that, look, the process may not be fair.
The whole thing, actually, that whole aspect of membership of APC is that to some people's minds, that is also not a tidy affair. It was done almost surreptitiously, even though there might not have been any midnight kind of registration. But I'm also hearing that somebody else is on the line. Help me out there. Who's on the line? Sheson in K2. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Evangelist Norris.
Well, that's a new one. I've been called a lot of things. That's a new one. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, what is Ngige still waiting for and others? At least other ministers.
Dr. Ngige is consulting. Dr. Ngige said he would consult the president and consult his people.
How long is he going to take him to consult? If you are really sure of yourself that you are going to take this ticket, at least honorably you should have resigned. I'm more interested in that, Dr. Ngige, because I was a student when he was adopted in Anambra long ago. And I really want to know what he wants to do this time around. Let him resign. I'm watching him closely. Let him resign and let's see what he's going to do. Let's see what he has to do or to offer the Nigerian people. If we bring him to this program, interview him, want him to talk to us. Thank you, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in, sir. Well, we don't want to overflog the Emefiele issue because it's been explained to us that it's actually, there's a sense in which you can see that it's based in law. But even lawyers have spoken up against the situation that, look, call it what you want, whether it is moral, ethical, but Emefiele has to take one or the other, is what people are angry about. But Emefiele knows what he's doing. The SAN, Michael Zekome, he's asked that one to go and seek interpretation. And in any case, I think there's this whole matter about he can actually sit tight in office. Excuse my putting it like that. He can stay in office. 180 days, 60 days before
30 days.
the
30. That's what
30
the
days
Constitution
before
says.
the election is what the
Section
Constitution
Section
says.
137.
You see, there is no way we want to divorce morality from this. You understand? I have said, let's take technicality of the law aside. You see, is it fair for you to be pursuing your own personal ambition, at the detriment of the work you are supposed to do? Because even Emefiele, is a serving officer. His office, you understand? And now, won't there be distractions?
He's a public servant, right?
He's a public servant. So won't there be distractions? Will you be able to do the work of the CBN governor, the way it is supposed to be done when you are pursuing your ambition?
But he has a deputy. He has a deputy now.
So he can. But the law that establishes the law that establishes his office, you understand, also knows that there is a deputy. Otherwise, that law could have said the deputy can do his job. So, and it is not just about Emefiele as far as I'm concerned. Even for other ministers, you cannot, be pursuing your personal ambition, and you say you are a minister in the public service or whatever.
That doesn't sit very well with a lot of people. Let me quickly, because time is running out, and let me bring in Abdul. Abdul is in Benin City. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning, Abdul. Abdul. Okay, I heard myself, and in fact, we were speaking there. There was a technical issue. That echo was far too much. It was far too long. When you hold an office, especially an office as high as the minister, of the Federation of Nigeria, there are some accoutrements and perks of office that you enjoy, and you will not deploy all those, to your own personal ambition. But a person might be honorable enough to not do so.
How many?
Because it's possible. It's within the realm of possibility to not use official property for your personal aspect.
How do we know?
Because there are people who will park their official car and because they want to do a private travel and bring out their private car.
How many of them? So is it not just better to exit the office, for the period that you want to pursue your ambition?
Okay.
It is just better.
I'm not even looking at whether they want to use the perks of office. For me, the most crucial point is that, you see, the purpose of that law, the intent behind the making of that law, that particular provision, is to ensure that the work of government does not grind to a halt.
And that is it.
And you are not distracted. Why? Because you are pushing your personal,
but even in this conversation, we have lost sight of something.
What?
I was talking about the intendment of this law.
Yes.
This 84.
That's
you
what
know,
saying.
this law actually originated. We have actually, veered off that, side. Originated from the fact of governors of so many states, you understand, appointing so many political appointees so that they become automatic, delegates during primaries. And it is because of that the parliament now says, okay, whoever that wants to be a delegate must, exit the office so that you do not gain advantage. So that because as a governor, I can appoint as many as 1,000 political appointees, knowing full well that
skew the process.
I can skew the process.
Is the process even not being skewed now in a different way with the sheer number of people who have surprisingly found 100 million naira with which to buy the form? Wow. Is that also not skewing the process? Because only one person is going to win at the end of the day.
You have a right under the Constitution to vie for office.
And bring 1 million.
Bring the money if you have the money.
In the case of APC, it has said, bring 100 million to show us you're serious. Wow. And all sorts of people are going in. Let it be said that most Nigerians do not think these ones will win. And in any case, it doesn't matter what you think. Only one person will win.
Only one person.
Because they are because these people involved know that this is the reality. That's the reason why many of them are sitting on the fence.
Like I've said, people are hedging their bets on,
Okay, well, we'll know by Monday because today is the last day, the deadline. By the first working day of next week, which is Monday, those that are, that have this ambition still and that are ministers today, just have to give up one or the other. Give up the ambition or give up your ministerial office. Gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it here and continue on Monday when we actually see the proper lie of the ground on Monday as to those that have complied with the president's admonition.